boy, I'm certainly glad to be done with that Crash Bandicoot N. Sane Trilogy video. I think after all that game playing, I can finally sit back and relax.
Hey, a new Kirby game released. Literally stop what you're doing and play it right now.
It never ends. So yeah, we all knew it was gonna happen at some point during the summer, and it happened. A brand new downloadable Kirby game has hit the 3DS's eShop.
Previously, we took a look at Team Kirby Clash Deluxe, an expanded version of the minigame that was found within Planet Robobot, well, Team Kirby Clash. For what it is, a free-to-play game, it was fun. You know, not awesome, but a good time nonetheless. I ended up spending roughly $30 on the whole thing, but let's not talk about it. And following suit with the 2 Triple Deluxe minigames that got extended eShop versions, all that was left was Kirby 3D Rumble, and lo and behold, Kirby Blowout Blast. Yeah, for some reason, they didn't call it Kirby 3D Rumble Deluxe. Crazy, right?
And unlike Team Kirby Clash Deluxe, which honestly I basically beat nearly the entire game, wrote a script, and completely edited it in like 3 days, and that process nearly drove me insane, by the way. I wanted to sit back and enjoy my time with this one, and I did that. It's been a little while, but now that wait is finally over. In terms of Kirby Blowout Blast, let's get into it.
Kirby 3D Rumble was an interesting game back in Robobot. Sure, there was, and really still is, a lot of appeal in the idea of Kirby in 3D, but it really didn't explore that idea at all. It was okay. Let's be honest here. You were restricted to very small one-screen levels, and it took like 20 minutes to complete. It's hard to say that was really good. And a similar fate befell Team Kirby Clash. So being the Kirby fanboy that I am who was going to buy this anyway aside, I was excited for this to get the deluxe treatment as well. And then they released official artwork for the game, and this was one of the pieces. And this just makes me happy, okay? Now in terms of story, there's actually no story at all here. Upon starting the game up, you get tossed into a small hub world and go. And despite the game's marketing making you believe this is finally a full-on Kirby game in 3D, it really isn't. In actuality, this is more of an action puzzle game, where on the fly, you have to suck in enemies and spit them out at the right time and angle to score the most points at the end, rewarding you with a trophy for your efforts. Getting a strong combo, completing a level quickly, not taking any damage, all that stuff is to work towards getting a platinum trophy. Getting the gold trophy is really easy. Platinum is the one where things start to get kinda difficult as you progress. The most notable improvement over the original is levels actually scroll now. So rather than being stuck in one small area, you get to progress a little bit and have some more control of Kirby in a 3D space, which, honestly, everybody, is the most enjoyable aspect of the game. Okay, here's the long and short of it. The way I explained the game like a minute ago, that's it. That is the entire game. Aside from, yes, Kirby is in fact in 3D here, and he's also a big boy, every level is basically the same. Even graphically, levels may have different color palettes, and that goes for the enemies as well, but they still all look the same. You run and deal with a couple of enemies on your path, get locked in a small gauntlet-like area for a bit, rinse and repeat until you get to the end. And to be completely blunt, the basic gameplay itself really isn't all that great. The fun comes from figuring out the optimal path and speed to get said platinum trophies. Just playing through the game to get to the final boss and that's it, that is honestly really boring. And, well, spoilers, not even getting the platinums is a worthwhile challenge. You get nothing for it. It's, Okay, but there's also this. At the end of each area is a boss fight against the returning Lololo and Lalala, Kracko, or of course, King Dedede, who is also a big boy. And these fights are actually really cool. The same score-based mentality plays out during these battles, but they're more reactive-based rather than purely puzzle-based, making them feel more like a standard Kirby game. And honestly, as a series fanboy, I simply loved seeing these two return as a boss fight. Lololo and Lalala have shown up in the series here and there, but you've only ever fought them in Kirby's Dreamland and in Kirby Superstar in Spring Breeze, which was just a remake of Kirby's Dreamland. And since they have such a simple way of fighting, their style works out great in this sort of pseudo 3D. And while we're at it, how about we finally get a new Adventures of Lolo game, huh? Oh, what, you haven't heard of Adventures of Lolo? Yeah, of course you haven't. This guy actually starred in his own game. 4 of them, in fact, and funnily enough, the first one released before Kirby's Dreamland, meaning Lololo is older than Kirby.
I know far too much about this series.
I guess, speaking of Kirby's Dreamland, I will say this. I feel like HAL themselves knew they couldn't make this game all that interesting too, so, as a result, they started claiming that Blowout Blast was a heavy throwback to the original Dreamland. It is Kirby's 25th anniversary after all, it would make sense. And this can be seen in a few places. For instance, there are 4 main areas, each of which features remade music from Dreamland's 4 levels. And then when you beat King Dedede, and this is my favorite part of the entire game, he replicates the poses that were only found in that game. And it's sad to say it, but this right here, this made me the happiest throughout the entire game. That's really it though. That's as far as it goes. Despite claiming to be a callback to that game, Kabula, another boss fight, is nowhere in sight, despite making it a more prominent fight in, I don't know, Planet Robobot. It's probably because they would need to include a flying section in the game, and variety was clearly not this game's strong suit. I guess that's kind of another throwback. I mean, Blowout Blast doesn't have copy abilities, and neither did Dreamland. So there's that. Honestly, copy abilities alone probably would have made this game awesome, but hey, what are you gonna do? Kirby Blowout Blast is kind of fun, and it was pretty cheap, so I don't necessarily regret buying it. I just expected a whole lot more, considering the ambition that went into Team Kirby Clash Deluxe. And, well, of course, this too, the soundtrack is great. I mean, you don't even need me to tell you that at this point. Every Kirby game has a great soundtrack. That is something that is consistent in this franchise, and it will be until the end of time. I know many of you out there weren't really expecting this out of me. Oh, I sound pretty negative in a Kirby video. Me negative in a Kirby thing? That can't possibly be true, right? Yeah. I mean, I really wasn't expecting this either. I haven't been this disappointed with the Kirby game since ever. Okay, maybe that's a bold statement. In the small confines of downloadable games on the 3DS's eShop, this one is certainly the weakest. The only other one that comes kinda close is Kirby Fighters Deluxe, which doesn't have a ton of content either, but it's definitely more fun than this at least. And yeah, that kinda stinks. However, we're not totally done yet. Since last time we talked, a buddy of mine gave me his 3DS Amiibo scanner. I haven't been able to scan Amiibo in 3DS in any capacity up until now, so Blowout Blast has Amiibo support. What say we figure out what that is, huh? Oh, neat! A statue that changes the hub's music, and that's it. Boy, have I ever been missing out? Thanks for watching, everybody. If you want some more Kirby goodness, I did a video over on Just How talking about the Kirby anime right back at ya. So go and check that out. Do it.